Follow me, follow me. I need toilet. Don't worry. I'm the manager. My name is Vitaly McDonald. Ron McDonald is me. Okay, we're out. That's it. Sir, how are you? He's order.
Just last week, the internet was abuzz with updates on OG YouTuber Vitaly, who, from behind bars in the Philippines, had initiated a desperate campaign for forgiveness. His pleas centered around claims of a compromised mental state and a newfound religious epiphany, almost as if rediscovering faith would magically absolve him of his past transgressions. He ardently requested either bail while awaiting trial, or, more ideally for him, immediate deportation. Yet his appeals were met with resounding rejections. The prospect of deportation proved particularly challenging, as neither America, his adopted home, nor Russia, his country of origin, expressed any desire to reclaim him. Russia, in fact, issued a stark statement declaring that Vitaly should serve as a good example of what not to do for their citizens when traveling abroad.
Excuse me, madam. Sorry. I'm gonna rob you if you keep walking away. I want to give you money. No? Okay. No. Okay, because you got a COVID mask, you liberal Go get your vaccine. I was trying to give you money, but all right.
Like, bro, what was...
And affirming their respect for the Filipino people and their sovereign decisions regarding his detainment. Philippine authorities, equally resolute, stated, "Foreign nationals who abuse our hospitality and violate our laws must face the consequences. The Bureau is resolute. We will not allow our deportation process to be undermined by publicity tactics or legal maneuvering. No special treatment will be given." These firm declarations made it clear Vitaly's celebrity status, which had so often shielded him from the full weight of consequences in the past, held no sway in the Philippines. If facing potential decades in a foreign prison, what would be the single most impactful realization you'd have about your past actions and future choices? Share your profound shift in perspective below. For 2 agonizing months, Vitaly had been detained, and while updates occasionally surfaced, concrete visual evidence of his condition remained elusive. That changed dramatically when he was transferred from his initial detention facility to an actual Filipino prison, where he now awaits his eventual trial. The transformation, captured in newly released photos, is nothing short of jarring. Before his recent transfer, Vitaly's public appearances, even in the courtroom, were characterized by a smug, almost mocking smile, a defiant smirk directed at those scrutinizing his idiotic actions. He projected an air of untouchable arrogance, seemingly convinced he was above the law. However, the after photos paint a profoundly different picture. These recent images reveal a man who appears to be a mere shell of his former self, visibly destroyed. He has lost what is estimated to be over 50 pounds. His physique dramatically diminished, a stark contrast to his previously steroid-enhanced build. The confident grin has vanished.
Trial, which is expected to take 2 to 3 years to get to the trial, at which point he will be sentenced. The expectation is at least a couple years. Now, some people have said it could be up to 31 years. I don't think that's going to be the case. I, in fact, think that it'll be a smaller amount of time, a lesser amount of time. However, I think it will be a significant amount of time. I don't think it's going to be, 6 months. I think a year, 2 years, 3 years would be enough, particularly since he was pending, 2 years in jail and another year or 2. I think that would be sufficient, but we'll see what he ultimately gets.
Replaced by an expression of utter defeat, his face a canvas of despair. The assumption is that the rat piss and cockroach droppings of his initial confinement, coupled with the grim reality of his situation, have effectively wiped off his mug, that once smug look. He is captured holding his hands over his head, a gesture of undeniable anguish, clearly realizing the dire predicament he finds himself in. Other photos from his transfer day show him looking visibly stressed, likely consumed by desperate prayers that this nightmare would simply vanish. Vitaly's repeated brushes with the law in various countries had, for years, reinforced a dangerous delusion that his wealth and celebrity status would always allow him to escape accountability. His pattern of playing with fire in a foreign land had consistently seen him get away with reckless behavior, leading him to believe that money could simply make his legal troubles go away, just as it had in the past. However, the Philippines has proven to be an entirely different arena. The Filipino people, as a collective, appear resolute in their desire for him to face justice, unequivocally refusing to drop the charges against him. The stark headline, perhaps, should read, "YouTuber learns that you cannot pay off everyone in your life." This profound realization is visibly etched on his face, a testament to the utter failure of his past tactics. A poignant detail emerged regarding his attire. In one press conference, he wore a shirt that said immigration deportation. This was no coincidence. It was a sick, twisted joke that he himself likely believed would manifest into freedom. He surely thought that by wearing this label, he was signaling his impending deportation, a triumphant return to either America or Russia. At this point, he would probably even take North Korea if it meant escaping his current hell. However, his choice of shirt proved to be a cruel bait and switch. That acronym on his shirt represented the Bureau of Immigration Warden Facility, a place of temporary detention for foreigners awaiting deportation or, more ominously, transfer to a more permanent prison. He believed he was going home, finally free from a 2-month nightmare. The reality was far grimmer. He was being transferred to a place much worse, filled with actual criminals, who likely hold little regard for a foreign YouTuber. On June 11th, Vitaly was indeed moved to what is accurately described as a high-security prison. This facility is officially known as the Bureau of Jail Management and Penology in Muntinlupa City. Here, he continues to face the charges of unjust vexation, theft, and public harassment. Speculation regarding his potential sentence varies wildly, from predictions of as little as 18 months in prison to reports from within the Philippines that he could still face up to a staggering 24 years. While 24 years would undeniably be an extreme punishment, even for his egregious actions, the severity of the charges underscores the gravity of his situation. Further compounding his grim prospects is the fact that he could potentially be waiting up to 3 years for his trial to even commence. By that point, as many familiar with the Philippine justice system speculate, Vitaly might physically resemble a skeleton with skin draped over it, or chillingly, may not even be alive. The stark reality of his new environment offers no solace. A documentary from 2023 about this specific prison reveals a grim picture. It is undeniably much worse than his previous holding facility. Here, he is confined alongside actual criminals, not just other foreigners awaiting deportation, many of whom, ironically, are likely innocent. The prison Vitaly now inhabits is plagued by severe overcrowding. At the time of the 2023 documentary, the facility, built to house approximately 1,500 prisoners, was crammed with over 8,000 inmates. Such extreme conditions render it virtually impossible to move around, leaving prisoners with no distractions, forcing them to be alone with their thoughts, concerns, and fears. Newcomers to this brutal environment are relegated to the bottom of the prison's social hierarchy, facing really bad treatment from the other prisoners, and essentially becoming pawns. As the new guy, Vitaly would undoubtedly be assigned the worst spot in the cell, right next to the toilet. The sanitary conditions are catastrophic. They also discuss how the new people basically are at the bottom of this totem pole, getting really bad treatment from the other prisoners, and you're pretty much a peon in there. As the new guy, he gets the worst spot in the cell right next to the toilet. This implies a severe hygiene problem, compounded by the fact that all these prisoners actually share one single bathroom with no running water or plumbing. The documentary footage is visceral. This is our toilet and bathroom. We only have water from buckets, just one bathroom for 92 people, no running water, catastrophic hygienic conditions. The food portions are described as just enough to survive, but nothing more than that. And without external financial support, prisoners do not have access to simple necessities like toothpaste, clothing, or soap. The visual evidence from the documentary also starkly reveals that Vitaly, a physically large white Westerner, will undeniably stick out like a sore thumb among the predominantly Filipino inmate population. This stark contrast suggests an explicit intent to make an example out of him. The racial dynamics within the prison are another harsh reality Vitaly will face. The documentary noted a black soccer player who, despite doing nothing wrong, had to be removed from the general population due to getting into many fights there due to his race. This strongly indicates that Vitaly, as a white foreigner, will likely face a similar fate. The prisoner himself lamented the lack of visitations and loss of privileges. It's really hard because you have no visitations. All of your privileges, they will going to remove it from you. I get jealous because I'm an athlete. Being here, it's really hard for me, especially I'm alone here that time. Getting into crazy. Yeah, I'm talking to myself that time because I'm alone. Even the few privileged inmates in this facility demonstrate the immense struggle. A man named Reno, facing 15 years for drug dealing, has what is considered the nicest setup, a 1.5-meter cubicle to himself, shared only with pretty cute cats. This meager luxury was earned only after 3 years of imprisonment, performing personal favors for guards and establishing himself as an authority figure among other prisoners. The grim reality is that Vitaly's sleeping conditions will be far worse. Packed tightly together, they get ready for the long night ahead. Many suffer from nightmares. It is beyond clear that Vitaly is, to put it bluntly, pretty much futchamed. His face in the latest photos is totally defeated. The only conceivable salvation, a long-shot Trump pardon, seems highly improbable, given Vitaly's non-American citizenship and his history of causing trouble in the US. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.